Okay, bottom line up front, the Gilbert Goons have been classified as a street gang by Gilbert Police and the Department of Public Safety and all of the agencies that worked together to determine whether or not the Gilbert Goons would be a gang. There were 6 agencies that participated in a press release that included Gilbert, Queen Creek, Chandler, Mesa, Pinal County, and Arizona Department of Public Safety. I learned just this week that the way that gangs get classified is first officers suspect it, they make gimmick cards, gang member identification cards, it goes up to detectives, from detectives it goes up to Department of Public Safety, the state agency, and that is the agency that determines ultimately whether or not it's a gang. So it makes sense that DPS was here today and did say it was a gang. They classified a second Gilbert gang called Jack Boy Mafia. So there are 2 certified classified gangs now in Gilbert. They did define them as hybrid gangs. That is simply a term that describes modern gangs which don't act like the gangs of the 80s. But the term hybrid gang has been around since 2001, so it's definitely not new. Here's where things get tricky. The police said that none of the crimes that have happened so far were in furtherance of a gang, and therefore they won't be subject to gang enhancement. The reason I say this is tricky is because that's not up to police, that's up to prosecutors. It's up to prosecutors to prove that any given crime was in furtherance of a gang. And I feel like the police are going to take a lot of heat on this one, and it's not even their call or their responsibility. I said earlier that Kyler Renner, who was arrested and charged with 9 counts, including multiple assaults and drug charges, had his bond reduced today from $152,000 to $17,500 in connection with a plea deal. And I do not believe that they're seeking gang enhancement charges. That should not fall on police. This interagencies working together on this problem is good news for Gilbert. And there hasn't been a lot of good news for Gilbert. This is really good news for Gilbert. This is how hybrid gangs get eradicated. Apparently because they're so tricky, and I'll put up their slide from the press conference, because they're so tricky, because they're so different, it really takes a wraparound approach to combat this problem within communities. You need leadership, you need interagencies working together, you need social services all working together on this hybrid gang issue. I believe Gilbert can do it, and I believe today was a really good step.